Hello everybody, so for this video I'll be teaching you about the area problem. So what is the area problem? So usually when you want to calculate the area of, let's just say, a rectangle, so you'll have like a rectangle like this. You usually do base times height. So you'll have the base and the formula would just be base times height, and you can find the area of this rectangle. But now with calculus or the area problem, you can find the area of something like this. Or you won't find the exact area, but you'll find something close to it. Just the area of this. So that's basically the area problem. So now let me show you an example. Okay, so we have this problem right here. So we have this right here. And we want to find the area of this. Or wait. I want to find the area of this. So just this shaded area. So what we would do is you want to split it up. So the main idea is that you want to split up into rectangles. So you have like a rectangle here, a rectangle here, a rectangle here, a rectangle here, and we'd find the area of each rectangle, and we would have an approximate answer of the area. Let me just get rid of this. Okay, should be good. Okay, so to make this easy, let's say you want to split it up into 7 rectangles, since we have 7. So usually there's a formula, and that formula is b minus a divided by n. Now you're probably wondering what b, a, and n are. So b would be this number, the last number, and then a would be the first number. In this case it's 0, and b is 7. And then n would be the amount of rectangles that we want. And in the end, what we'll get is how much each rectangle should be, or how big the base should be. So let's plug in our numbers. So we'll have 7 minus 0 divided by 7. And now if we just do that, it's pretty easy. We'll just get 1 as our answer. And as you can see, each rectangle will have a base of 1. So we have 0 to 1 right here, and 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4, and so on until 7. So now let's just make like a little marking for our rectangles right here. So something like this. And now for our rectangles, we need to find the height. So for our height, we'd want to take the middle of each rectangle, and we just want to make like a dotted line to the top until it touches our function line, or this curve right here. So this would be our height of our rectangle. So we can just make like a little line right here, and we can bring this down. And this would be our first rectangle. And for our second rectangle, we do the same thing. So we find the middle, and go up until something like right here. It doesn't have to be the exact middle, but it can be close to it, since this is all approximation and everything doesn't need to be exact. So we'd have something like this. And for our third rectangle, we'd have the height over here, and then we'll just bring this down, and now we'll have our third rectangle with this height. And now we can do the same thing up until our last rectangle. See, this isn't like as like close to the middle, but it's okay because it's all an approximation. And for our last rectangle, just to make this go up, something like this. So now we have our 7 rectangles. So for this one, I'm not going to do all the math. I think we should say that for our first problem. But what we would do, we first estimate the area, or we'd estimate the height. So let's just do the first one together, the first rectangle. So this would be around 3.5 here. So this will be around 3.5, and the base is 1. So this area of the rectangle would be 3.5. And then let's do the second rectangle. So the second rectangle, that's like around 4. Let's just say 4. It doesn't have to be exact. So in the area of this would be 4. Then we can just add these two, and that would equal to, let's just write down here, 7.5. So then the area of just this, so whatever I just outlined, that would be 7.5 around. And then we just keep on continuing that over and over again. So we'd find the area of this rectangle, and then we'd add it with 7.5, and then we find the area of this rectangle, and then we would put that with the sum of these three rectangles, and then we just keep on going on and add up all the rectangles. So now let's move on to our first problem. Okay, so we have this problem. We just need to find the area of the shaded. We just find the area of the shaded area. Yeah. So we have. It looks like it ends at 2, and it goes up till 3. Let's just say this is 3, right here. And we have -2 as our A, and 0 as our B. So even though the highest number, or the number all the way to the right or left, even though that one was A, or that one was B, sorry, we want to keep it left to right for A and B, and you'll see why. So now let's try to find how many sectors we want. So I think this one, I want to have 4 sectors, or 4 rectangles. So let's do our formula. So we have B minus A over N, and N would be 4, B would be 0, and A would be -2. So it has 0 minus -2 over 4, which is equal to 1/2, or 0.5. So now let's just mark our halfway point for this, and this. Okay, so now we'll have our rectangles. We'll have our 4 rectangles. 2, 3, 4. Those will be our 4 rectangles. Okay, so now let's just make our dotted line. So start from here, make a dotted line. This around right here, and we can just bring this up. And this will be our first rectangle. And we can do this second one. So it's around right here. And then this will be our second rectangle. Make our dotted line. And let's just make our 4th dotted line. Or let me make that a bit more straight. Okay, so something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. But yeah. Okay, so now let's try to approximate the height of each rectangle. So for this first rectangle, it's 2. You can already have that here. And then the second rectangle, it looks to be, hold on. It looks to be around, it's like around like 2.3. So the area of this rectangle would be around 1.2. So let's just put like a 1.2 underneath here. And then for the first rectangle, just be 1. And then for the third rectangle, it's like really close to 3. And since we're just approximating, let's just say this is 3. So this one would be 1.5 is our area. So 0.5 times 3 is 1.5. And for the last one, say this is around 2.8. It's around like right here. You can just say it's 2.8. So this would be around 1.4. And then these 1.4, 1.5, 1.2, and 1 would be our areas for our rectangles. And now let's just add them up. So we'll have 1.4 plus 1.5 plus 1.2 plus 1. And then we have 2.9 plus 2.2, and that then gives us 5.1. So the area of the blue area is 5.1. And that's not, even though it's not the correct answer, or not correct, but it's not the exact answer, it's still an approximate answer. Because we can't really get the exact answer. Or we could, but it's me really hard and really just tedious to find it. So this is our approximate answer, 5.1, 5, 4.9. Doesn't really matter, just around this number. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something today.